Introducing Business Tech Guide, where business and tech meets endless possibilities. Join us whilst we explore the latest updates in the world of business and technology. Do not miss out. Hi guys, welcome to Business Tech Guide, where business and tech meets endless possibilities. This is your go-to source for the latest updates in the world of business and technology. I'm your host, Nadia Chantel. This show is sponsored by Tendo Technologies, and we're diving straight into our first segment, Tech in Brief. Tech in Brief. We Buy Cars, a prominent South African online marketplace for used cars, recently exceeded expectations by going public for $444 million. This success has sparked discussions about the potential for more local tech companies going public in Africa, reflecting growing confidence in African startups' ability to access capital through local exchanges. However, transitioning to public markets poses challenges for startups who must balance growth, profitability, and public image. As they plan to go public, startups need to assess the implications and navigate the transition for success. That's all we have for our Tech in Brief segment today. A lovely thanks to our sponsor, Tendo Technologies. We'll be taking a brief break, and when we return, we'll dive into our Innovator segment.
Tendo, based in Ghana, a platform for individuals to resell products using social media.
My name is Felix. I am the CEO of Tendo. Tendo is a platform that enables anyone in Africa to start an online store with zero capital.
Tendo is a social commerce app for resellers. The platform has built a network of suppliers and then handles the fulfillment when an order is placed. For the resellers, after identifying the products they want to sell through Tendo's app, they can add a markup on the wholesale price, which is their profit, and they use social media to sell to their community.
They would find the products that they want, and we would guide them on how much they can price, how much profit they can add to the product. But once they share it and they generate orders, Tendo actually fulfills the order. So we deliver to their end customers and send their profits to them. These resellers act as sources of truth and recommendations for the end buyers. Their desire really is to leverage on that community to generate an income.
From an earnings perspective, Tendo isn't providing the equivalent of a full-time income for their users. That's by design. They are one part of their users' portfolio of work.
Our average user base earns right now about $60 monthly. And I think it's significant because a lot of these users are using the income that they're earning on Tendo for very impactful things. So paying for fees, paying for their children, buying essential things that they need. But our idea is to find something that's very easy. They can do it on their smartphone. They can do it while you're doing all their different other things. And then we can take the heavy lifting and just leverage on what they have, which is their drive, their skills, and the relationships that they've built.
Welcome back to Business Tech Guide on DGN. Today, we're thrilled to have the Chief Operating Officer and co-founder of Oze, David Emnett. Oze is a one-stop platform for small African businesses, providing vital tools like financial management, payments, and loans. It ensures businesses have what they need to succeed and supports them. With Oze, small businesses can easily access financial services and empowers them for growth and success within Africa's economy. Thanks for coming on our show, David.
Thanks so much for having me, Nadia. Happy to be here.
Yes. Okay, so you tell us what Oze is before we go into our rapid-fire questions.
Sure. Oze is a fintech startup, and we're on a mission to build 100 million profitable small businesses across the continent.
Wow.
And we'll talk about how we're going to do that with our different products and services.
All right, we'll get there right now. So let's start off by the rapid-fire questions.
Okay, great.
All right. So if you could swap lives with any tech CEO for a day, who would it be and why?
I think Jack Dorsey,
okay.
Twitter, now X.
Yeah.
Really good tool to use. And I would like to see kind of how he went about that journey. He also runs Square, which is another tool for small business owners. So that would be really cool to see.
Oh, wow, that's so lovely. So what's the most exciting tech trend you've seen emerge today?
It's got to be AI. It seems a little cliche to say that, but it's got to be AI.
I know, it's been helping everybody now, so I love that. So I love that you love that. That's good. Yeah. So if you had to pick any superpower from the tech world, what would it be?
I think be able to hack into anything.
Yeah. That's a good one.
For financial services, it's so important to protect customers' data.
Yeah.
So if I could hack into myself and make sure that everything's good, that'd be a pretty cool superpower.
That's good. Okay, so if you're stuck on an island, what would you need? Your phone or your laptop?
I really like my laptop, but it's got to be phone.
Yeah.
These days, I can do everything on my phone. There's still some things I can't do on my laptop.
Okay, that's good. So you like your phone, not your laptop.
Yeah, Google
Oh.
Pixel.
Okay, that's okay. So what is your favorite tech gadget or tool that you cannot live without?
You know, we asked this question to all of my employees the other day.
Okay.
One of my employees actually said me, which I thought was interesting.
That's
But
a
for
lot.
me, I
Yeah.
think a software tool, it's called Google Sheets.
Yeah.
I use it for literally everything.
Okay.
I don't think I could live without it.
All right, that's good. That's
Yeah.
interesting. All right, so thank you so much for answering the
Sure.
rapid fire questions with me. So now we head into our main questions.
Yep.
So you already told us what OZE is and what it does for people and the small businesses. So now I want to know what inspired you to create OZE.
Let's see, how much time do you have? So the story starts a few years ago. Actually, I guess almost 10 years ago at this point,
Yeah.
in Guinea-Conakry,
Oh.
just a couple countries over from here.
Okay.
I was running a small business accelerator with my co-founder.
Yeah.
And the mission of that accelerator is to end youth unemployment on the continent, which we all know is a big problem.
Really
Right.
big problem.
And it turns out the best way to do that is to help young entrepreneurs start more businesses and then employ more people.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And so we did that. We trained thousands of entrepreneurs in Guinea and Benin. And one day we went out to meet with one of those entrepreneurs to
Yeah.
find out, is their business successful now? Right? And that entrepreneur took his smartphone off the top of his paper ledger book and
Wow.
put it to the side. You know what the paper ledger books
Yeah,
are, right?
exactly. Like they write the things like the finances and everything in there. All right.
Exactly.
Okay.
So he took it off and put it to the side and opened it up to try to tell us how his business is doing. And we said, but you have a
still
computer in your hand with your smartphone, right?
Yeah.
And we're still writing in paper ledger books. Now, I'm not here to tell you that you can't run a successful business
Okay.
using a paper ledger book as
Yeah.
your main tool, right? You can.
You
Hundreds
can.
of businesses are doing it.
All right.
But if you want to grow and you want to take it to the next level,
Yeah.
right? It's 2024. There are better tools.
Honestly,
Than
we're
a paper
in
and
the
pen.
age of tech as well.
We're in
so-
the age of tech.
Exactly.
So that was the aha moment for us.
Yeah.
And back then, we looked around. There really wasn't any business management tools designed for African entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
And so we said, let's build it. And we built the OZE business app, which we'll talk about as well.
I'm excited. I'm happy. So I know that your aim is to empower small businesses, small African businesses, if you would say. So how has your aim to empower small African businesses like informed your decision in like on your innovation for your fintech tools?
Yeah, I think one of the cool things about small businesses is things change very quickly,
Okay.
right? And they're constantly trying new strategies to get to the next market, to close the next customer.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, there's a great quote from, I think it's Steve Jobs. He says, innovation is saying no to 1,000 things. Right? And that's how we do business at OZE as well. We try to experiment as much as we can. We try one strategy. If it doesn't work, we move to the next one.
Yes.
And once you've said no to several strategies, you eventually hit on the one that works.
Okay.
And I think that's the best way to run a startup.
That is so good. All right. So like how do you differentiate yourself like OZE? Because there are many fintechs in Ghana. So how do you differentiate yourself from the other fintechs in Ghana?
Yeah, well, I think let's maybe talk a little bit about the challenges that Ghanaian business owners face,
All
right?
right. Okay.
The first one is, of course, the one that every small business owner faces across the world. 9 out of 10 businesses fail.
Yeah.
We know the stats. And the reality is you can't do it alone,
Yes.
right? There's no such thing as an overnight success. You need a partner that can help you in your growth journey,
Yes.
right? And OZE wants to be one of those partners, but
Okay.
there are many partners, right?
All right.
So that's the main challenge that all small business owners face. But there are two challenges that we try to address at OZE.
Okay.
The first one is access to smart, simple tools,
Yeah.
right, that you can use to run your business on a day-to-day.
Okay.
Like I said, most businesses are using a paper ledger book, which is okay.
Yeah.
But we can do better. We can do better now, right? And we'll talk about what the OZE business app can do for you.
All right.
So if a small business owner has access to a good tool to run their business,
Yeah.
that's one challenge overcome.
Okay.
Right? The second one is access to affordable capital, affordable loans to take your business to the next level.
Yeah.
And it's tied to the other one, actually, right? Because if you're keeping your financial records on a paper ledger book and you go to the bank and you take the paper ledger book, the bank is going to have a really hard time figuring out, okay, how much can I lend to this small business that they'll be able to pay back, right?
Exactly.
Banks want to lend to small businesses, right? But there are certain challenges that they go
requirements that you need to
Exactly.
meet.
So we try to address that challenge as well, connecting the small businesses to the banks, giving them the right data to give to the bank so that they can be assessed properly.
All right.
So those are the two the two challenges that we address.
All right.
And we can go through the list of things that we do as well.
Okay, so like that's how you guys differentiate yourselves from other fintechs in Ghana.
Yes.
All right. So how does OZE then streamline financial management for these small businesses?
Yeah. So there's more than 5 now, but there are 5 main things that we offer.
Okay.
Right? The first is record keeping, right? Recording your sales and expenses, understanding the money coming in and out of your business.
Yeah.
The second is invoicing and receipting. Right?
Okay.
How often do you buy things on credit?
Oh, not really, because I don't like to borrow or
Really?
No, I don't like that.
Well, it's
'Cause
very
I can't
common,
sleep.
right?
I know it's very common,
Yeah.
but for me personally, I can't sleep when I know I have to pay something.
I got you.
Yeah, it gives me sleepless nights. So
I
no.
get it.
Okay,
But
yeah.
many small business owners,
They do that,
They sell it on
exactly.
credit all the time.
Of course.
Charlie, pay me next week, right?
That's how business works in Ghana because you
All
have
the
to
time.
establish trust,
Yep.
so then pay later.
And if you don't agree to credit, sometimes the customer will walk away.
Exactly.
Right? So sending invoices and tracking who owes you money
Yeah.
is very, very important. So that's number 2.
Yeah.
Number 3 is analytics, right? You need to understand, how is my business doing? Am I actually making a profit? Are my sales more than my expenses?
Yeah.
Right? And you need to understand which products are moving the fastest, right? And where am I spending the most of my money, right?
Okay.
Is my electricity bill super high? What can I do about that, right?
Exactly.
So analytics to help you understand that.
Yeah.
right? Now the next 2 are newer features, right?
Okay, tell
So
me.
we now have inventory management,
Oh wow.
which is a really cool feature.
Yeah.
And I always have this experience. Sometimes you walk into a store in Ghana, you have the money in your hand, you want to buy something, and you know what they say? It's
Well,
finished.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like, oh, this is finished. Or maybe you want it in a different color. They're like, oh, this color is finished.
it's finished.
Yeah.
And it kills me every time because that's a purchasing opportunity. That small business is not going to have it, right?
Exactly.
When you have an inventory management tool,
Yeah.
it will alert you, at least ours will,
Okay.
it will alert you when you're getting low on stock so
Okay.
that you restock, right? So that when someone comes in ready to buy, you always have that
You
product
have the
available.
goods ready to go.
Very important.
All right, that's good.
And then the last one, which I think is really cool as well, is our custom online shop, right? Let me ask you something.
Okay, ask me.
Would you like to make sales while you're sleeping?
Yes.
You would, of course.
I would. Everybody would.
Anyone would.
You know, they say the richest person is one that can sleep and your money is working for you over time.
Exactly.
You know, I like
exactly.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. And so small business owners, of course, if you had a 24/7 shop and you had people working there, you could do it that way.
Exactly.
But the other way is online, right? And so what we do is we help small businesses, help small businesses open an online shop with just a few clicks.
Okay.
They add their products or their services if they want. And then while they're sleeping, people can go to that shop, check
Right.
out, buy, and they wake up, oh, I've got 10 orders that I have to fulfill today.
Yeah.
So that's the 5th one, a really, really new feature for us, and it's
Okay.
doing really well so far.
Oh, that's so good. That's really lovely. So your app, if you want to summarize everything that you said.
Yeah.
So what does your app entail? Give it to me quick.
Oh, it's a one-stop shop to unlock success in your business.
All
That's what it
right.
is.
Okay.
And we mentioned a little bit the loans,
Yes.
right? After you've been using our app for a while, you can apply for a loan, and we try to connect you to a financial institution partner, a registered financial institution partner that can give you that facility. And then we help them make sure that they have all the data that they need to make a good decision, right?
Yeah.
And that's the other challenge that I talked about earlier. And that's not something that, a lot of people still walk into a bank or somewhere else to try to do that.
Exactly.
With OZE, you can do it right from your phone.
All right. So you have partners that you work with
Yes.
to ensure that these small businesses can be granted loans.
Absolutely.
All right, that's so good. Okay, so also what support you give to these Ghanaians, these small business owners, in terms of financial literacy, what do you do to help them
Yeah.
to understand the value of money, how to save money and everything? What do you do?
Yeah, I think this is a super important topic.
Yeah.
We all know that small businesses are the backbone of our economy.
Yes.
Right? 90% of businesses are small businesses. 70% of our GDP comes from the small businesses.
Exactly.
So if we're not spending time to increase financial literacy, to give small businesses the tools and education and resources they need, the economy is not going to grow.
Exactly.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So the three ways that we do that at Oze. The first is by having access to an on-demand business coach. So if
Okay.
you're using our app, let's say you have a challenge that you can't figure out, right? Or a growth opportunity that you want to discuss with someone.
Yeah.
Just chat our business coach right in the
Oh.
app. We'll discuss it with you, give you a little bit of advice,
Okay.
and then you can go about your
That
day.
is so
Yeah.
good. That's so amazing.
Yeah.
You have people on standby willing to help these small businesses. That is
Qualified
brilliant.
business coaches that
Yeah.
have done it before and
Yeah.
can give you a little bit of advice, right?
Okay.
The second way we do that is through what we call business tips.
Yeah.
So every day, if you're using the app, you're going to get a business tip.
Okay.
And it's a bite-sized 2 to 3 sentence
Okay.
tip, practical tip to help you improve your business.
Something
right?
quick and easy.
Quick and easy.
But goes a long way.
It goes a long way. That's
Exactly.
right. And that's important because, like, you know, many small businesses will go to a training and they'll sit in the training all day long, right? But the next day, what do they remember?
Exactly.
One thing, two things, right? The human brain can only remember so many things.
Especially
Yeah.
when it's over a long period of time.
Absolutely.
And it's the same thing.
Yeah. So we find that when we give it bite size,
Yeah.
it sticks.
Okay.
Yeah. And the third thing is our monthly workshops. So once a month, we hold a workshop either in person or online.
Okay.
And we pick a topic, let's say digital marketing strategies for SMEs. And we train you in 30 minutes, 45 minutes, right? And then we give you practical tips and a plan to go back and do it in your business. Right?
Wow.
So not all day,
Okay.
but short enough so that you...
How long is
you-
it? Like how long?
About
is it?
45 minutes usually.
that's
And then we
okay.
spend the last 15 going through, okay, how are you going to take this back to your
Yeah.
business? So those are the three ways that we really try to
Help-
work on that.
That's so good.
Yeah.
I'm really impressed by that. And so we know that like you're helping people, you're teaching them, you have financial coaches and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So what other strategies do you have in place
Yeah.
to increase your customers on the app?
Yeah, I think it's about retention, right?
Okay.
Doing things that make the customers want to come back, right? For us, it's a business management tool,
Yeah.
right? So if a business management tool is telling you how your business is doing, you're going to come back, right? Every day you want to know,
I want to
how is
know.
my business doing?
I need to
right?
grow my business. I'll come back every day.
Yeah. So we send something called a monthly report, right?
Okay.
We actually do it weekly and daily sometimes, but the main one that everyone loves is called our monthly report.
Okay.
And it's a PDF file that has charts, tells you how your business is doing, insights so that you can next month do better, right? And I think when you have strategies in place that really provide that extra value, the businesses are going to come back.
Wow. Okay, so you're giving like value for their time and
Yeah.
their resources. That's so good.
Yeah.
I like that. And also, I know that starting a business obviously is not easy. We are sitting here
Yeah.
discussing that. And for you guys, you're a startup, right? And you started your business. So how would you advise somebody, an aspiring entrepreneur coming into it, in securing funding? How do you think that works? Yeah.
Well, first thing I would say is you don't have to do what you see in the movies, right?
And what is that?
Oh, in the movies you see, you go pitch to some rich venture capitalist and they give you $1 million. The reality is not really like that, right?
Okay.
So first consider other funding options before you go to angel investors, venture capitalists who can give you investment, right?
Okay.
So you consider those other funding options, whether it's a loan or invoice financing or whatever it is.
Okay.
Now, if you are a fintech startup and you do want to go that route where you get a bunch of money and you grow as fast as you can, then pitch competitions.
Okay.
And this is what we did, right? We did several pitch competitions. Luckily, I think we got like third place in one of them.
Oh, wow.
I mean, we got first after that,
In
but in the early
In the
days.
beginning, okay.
And we got third, and we got a little bit of cash in, and we met investors.
Okay.
Now, once you get one investor, the hardest part is the first investor. You get the first investor to invest in you. That investor will introduce you to other investors.
Okay.
And those investors will introduce you to other investors. And those investors will introduce you to other investors, right? So you have to get in front of as many investors as you can.
Yeah.
Most of them are going to say no. That's okay. But some of them will say yes, hopefully. And then I think the other important thing is to go to events, right?
Yeah.
Go to events where investors are there, where experienced mentors are there,
Yeah.
so that you can learn things.
Yeah, that is so good. So you have to be willing to put yourself out there
Yes,
to be able to get results.
absolutely.
All right. Okay. So guys, if you are listening, put yourself out there to be able to get results. Okay. So what other tips do you have for like young people coming up who are trying to secure funding? Give me like 3 tidbits that they can use.
Well, I mean, the first is go to Oze and apply for a loan. So we can introduce you to a financial partner.
All right. Okay.
The second, I think, is you have to really understand your business, right? Don't go searching for funding if you don't understand your business.
Yeah.
And you have to craft a story that will tug on people's emotions, is what I would say, right?
Okay.
You could go into a room with investors and have the best metrics, right?
Okay.
But if the investors don't get what you're saying, right? If you don't make them feel
If
something,
they don't connect with you.
100%, they're going to say no. 100% of the time, right? So get your story right,
Okay.
and you'll be much more successful.
So what is your story? What story do you tell the investors? Okay, don't give us everything. Give us something small.
I can't give you all the little secrets.
Yeah, there's just something small. What story like touches the investor's heart, like Uzi?
Yeah.
From Uzi.
I think it's we tell a story about one of our customers.
Okay.
Right. So you go into a room with the investor. You tell them. I always tell the story about Jay Classy.
Okay.
Jay Classy Ties and More. Shouting out to Jay Classy.
Okay, classy. Hi.
He makes wooden bow ties, lapels,
Oh,
tie
nice.
clips. I actually wore one to my wedding.
Oh, that's so cute.
And he started using the app several years ago.
Yeah.
Right? And once he started using the app, he could see, like, if I spend money on this marketing strategy, I get this much back.
Okay.
Right? And now he's opened up his own store,
Wow.
a really cool store. And so when you tell a story like that to investors of how you change the life of one of your
Somebody,
customers, that tugs at the heartstrings.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's not all about, they want to make money too, but,
Yeah, exactly. But then
but
that
you have to
helps.
make them feel something. Yeah.
All right. Okay. That is, you shared a story of how you helped another person.
Yeah.
So I want to know, obviously, creating Aussie, I'm sure it wasn't easy, but then you had a dream and you wanted to achieve that dream.
Yeah.
So what significant challenge did you overcome that made you feel like, okay, even though this is hard, this is something I really want to do.
Yeah.
So can you give me like that particular thing?
How long do you have? So many challenges.
Okay, yeah, just let me know.
One that stands out to me.
Yeah.
We had to rebuild our app.
Wow.
You know, I think especially in technology companies,
Yeah.
when you're building software, you first build the software for the 30 customers that are in your pilot.
Yeah.
And then you build for the first 100 customers that you have, right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you have 1,000 customers. And then you have
Right.
5,000 customers. And
keeps
little
growing.
things start to break. Right? Because you built the software for 30 businesses or 100 businesses. You didn't
Exactly.
build it for 5,000
Okay.
businesses. So that was tough, right? We had to rebuild it. And I think the lesson there is always leave the door open for scale.
Okay.
Right? Because, I mean, entrepreneurs,
Yeah.
we're optimists, right?
Exactly.
So we think that we're going to get there, but sometimes we forget that, right? And we build something that's not
journey.
designed, and it's a journey. Yeah, it takes
Exactly.
time. Yeah. So when you're making decisions about how to build your software or your processes internally, think about, will this work when we have 1,000 customers,
long
when we
term,
have
okay.
1 million customers, when we have 10 million customers, God willing, one day.
Amen.
Right? And leave that door open. It's really important.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So that's what made you know that, like, okay, even though it's tough, you know, you can sail through.
If I can overcome having to rebuild the entire app, we can make it.
You can do anything.
That's right.
That's really good. So, Oze,
Yeah.
I love your mission. I love your vision. I love where you guys are going. I want to know who are the people and what is the team like? Who are the people behind the app? Like, what's your team culture like?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you look for when you're selecting your team members?
Yeah. So I'll come to the team members, but it's also
Okay.
about partnerships.
All right.
And I wanted to just talk a little bit about one of the partnerships that we have currently with African Development Bank.
Okay.
And it comes back to this conversation about financial literacy, right?
Yeah.
We've designed with African Development Bank a training for growth and business resiliency.
Wow.
Right? Now that, in today's economy, is super important. How resilient can you be as a small business owner? How many times can you get knocked down and get back
and
up?
get back up.
Right?
That's the thing.
So we designed this really cool training. It's not long, right? Because
Okay.
I told you earlier I don't like all day trainings.
Yeah. No.
But
45 minutes.
It's about, well, this one's 3 hours.
Okay.
3 different modules.
Okay.
So you don't take them all at the same time.
All right. Okay. That's okay.
But it's an amazing training. Worked really closely with African Development Bank on it.
Yeah.
We worked really closely with our Small Business Accelerator, which I mentioned earlier.
Yes.
And so you take that training, and then you get access to an official certificate, of course, to let everyone know that you're resilient. You, as an SME, are resilient. And then you also get access to 6 months of our Oze Gold Plan, which, by the way, is in a value of like 625 CDs.
Okay.
Right? So you're getting that for free. That's a pretty good deal.
Wow.
Right? So I would just encourage everyone, go to our YouTube channel,
Okay.
check out that training in your free time and do that.
Yeah. So when you check it out and you partake in it, you get
Yep.
625 kind of CDs?
You get an Oze Gold subscription, which
Okay.
is worth 625 CDs.
That's
You get
so
that for
good.
free.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, everyone should go check out that
Everybody,
training.
please go and check out that training now. All right.
But
so
when it
now-
comes to our teams,
Your team,
I think first and foremost, it's aligning with the mission,
Yeah.
right? We want to build 100 million profitable small businesses.
Wow.
That's
So
not
your
something that you can do
goal.
overnight.
Okay. Yeah. No, it takes work.
So you need people who want to achieve that with you, and you need people who are passionate about helping small businesses.
Yeah.
Most of the people that work for us, probably everyone, has an auntie or an uncle or
Yeah.
a mom
Yeah.
who has the small business and is experiencing the challenges that we're helping to solve, right? So it hits home, right? And so they bring a little extra
Yeah, like the passion is
something,
there.
to work to
Yeah.
get things done.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing. Another thing I would say is ownership, right? When you first start a small business,
Yeah.
you need people who will think of the business as their own, right?
Yeah.
Some people, they go to work and then they come home and,
Yeah.
and they live for the stuff outside of work,
Of
which
course.
is okay, right? But if you're starting a small business and it's a startup, you want people who like live and breathe it a little
Yeah.
bit, right? I
Who
mean,
wants to be there?
it's
Like,
good to have
that's their
work-life
passion.
balance,
Yeah.
but
I mean, love your work as well.
I love your work, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. My opinion with work-life balance. You
Yeah.
need to, you love your work, and then you don't need to have work-life balance.
Okay, exactly.
So, ownership really important. Maybe one other thing I would touch on is collaboration. I don't care how good you are at your job. If you
Okay.
can't do it with other people, if you can't collaborate with the team, I'm not going to hire you.
Wow.
That's just the way it is.
So do you put them through training?
We do. When you start, there's a little
Okay.
bit of training that you get, and then you need to learn a lot on the job. But we have experienced people that are there to help you,
All right.
and then I think you'll be able to succeed from there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So how long is this training, if I may ask?
A couple days in the beginning.
Okay, just
Yeah.
a couple of days.
Yeah.
So what do you see in them, and you're like, okay, I need this guy, because a couple of days.
Yeah.
How are you able to know that this person is who you're looking for?
I think the main thing is grit, right?
Okay.
If you get knocked down 10 times, you're going to get back up the 11th, right?
The
If I
resilience
don't
that
see
you were
that,
talking about.
yeah. One of the
Yeah.
questions I ask in my
Yeah.
interview process is,
Okay.
what's the hardest thing you've done in your life? Think about that. If you had to answer
No,
that,
I'm deep in it right now, and I'm like,
what would you say?
That's a lot.
Because if people can answer that and they say, and the hardest thing I had to do was, I don't know, win a football game. Okay,
that's
you've not experienced. You don't have the grit,
You don't
right?
really know what's going on in life then.
Well,
If it's just-
that's
no,
one thing.
And that's what I'm saying. But yeah.
So I think that's really important that they have grit, that they can collaborate, that they take ownership, and that they want to grow with the company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So obviously you have a lovely team
Yeah.
from what you've explained. Everybody
Yeah.
has grit. Everybody's resilient. So yeah. How do you celebrate success and milestones with your team?
Yeah.
Because I know like the culture at work really helps in overcoming like obstacles and
Yeah.
like achieving like targets and stuff like that. So how do you guys celebrate like your success and your milestones?
Yeah, I think it's the little things, right? Like, I think I made this mistake earlier. I thought that if we achieved something, I had to take someone out for like the most expensive dinner in our crowd
Really?
or whatever.
Oh my
No,
god, then you were wasting a lot of
Hey, you don't have to
money.
do that, right?
Yeah.
It's about team building exercises,
Yeah.
right? So we try to work that into our day-to-day life,
Mm-hmm.
right? And if someone succeeds in their goal, we make sure we recognize that.
Yeah.
Right? So we have something we call Demo Day.
Okay.
Once a month, we all get together and we celebrate. We shout out each other for
Oh,
the things
nice.
that they've done well,
Okay.
right? But then I think it's also about doing activities together, right?
Mm-hmm.
We played. What did we play the other day? Telephone.
Okay.
Exactly. Right?
Okay.
So you stand in a line, and someone does a little dance or some motions, and then someone has to repeat it, and
Yeah.
then you turn around, and then the next person, and the
okay,
next
okay,
person.
okay.
By the time you get to the end of the line, it's not anywhere near the same.
Okay. So it's like a fun game.
Funny,
I
like,
know
team
that
building
game.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so nice.
So
I
when you
like
do those
that.
consistently, the culture it really helps.
Yeah, everybody becomes like intertwined. Everybody is friendly. It's
Exactly,
good.
yeah.
It's a very good work environment.
That's right.
All right. So, okay. So now I want to ask you, what is your biggest achievement since starting Oze?
I would say just our footprint, really, right? Today, 250,000 businesses across the continent in Ghana, Nigeria, many other countries across the continent have used our business management app. Right?
Wow.
And so when you think about the difference it's made in their lives, that for me is our biggest achievement.
Yeah.
When people use our app, 90% of them are either profitable, growing, or both. Right? So though I know that using our app is not the only thing that you need to do to succeed as a business,
Of course.
it seems to be correlated, right?
Yeah.
If you use it, if you use a great tool,
It's
smart, simple
helpful.
tool,
Exactly.
it will help you get
And
there.
it accelerates their business too.
Absolutely,
Exactly.
yeah.
So that's really good. All right. So I like that. So what can we expect from Oze in the future?
A lot more.
Okay.
I would say in the next quarter, we have some really cool improvements to our analytics feature that are
Okay.
coming up.
Can you give us like a sneak peek, like something? Can you say something, like one or two things about it?
So just imagine opening your phone, and in the morning,
Okay.
Jose's going to tell you, yesterday you sold the most of this product, right? Or it looks like you're spending a little much on your electricity this month. Maybe you need to
Yeah.
tone it down, right?
Okay.
So think of it like a smart assistant that can tell you how your business is doing in real time. Right? So there's
wow.
some really cool improvements there.
Yeah.
And then we're also got a lot of stuff coming out for our microfinance and bank customers.
Okay.
Imagine if you're a microfinance institution being able to spin up a digital lending portfolio in just a few minutes.
Yeah.
Right? That would be
That would
pretty
be
awesome.
mind changing. Like,
Yeah.
wow.
So that's coming in the next couple of months.
Okay. Wow. I need that.
I didn't want to
I'll
give you
get
too
on
many
it.
details,
yeah,
but
yeah, but you give it to me behind the scenes, so I'm ready for
That's
that.
it.
All right. So, what advice can you give to young aspiring entrepreneurs in the tech space? Not just in regards to like fintech, but just in the tech space in general. Like,
Yeah.
what can you tell them?
I would say whether you're a founder or you work at a startup,
Yeah.
I made this mistake when I first started the business.
Yeah.
I worked so hard, right, in the first couple of years, and I worked and I worked and I worked, but I didn't really try to develop myself, right? So I would say if you're a founder or you work at a startup, you have to learn something new every day, or at least every week you learn something new.
Okay.
And the reason for that is because if you do, when it comes time to pivot
Yeah.
or adapt or reinvent the
Yeah.
company, you'll be ready,
Yeah,
right? You'll
ready.
have the knowledge of so many different areas. You'll have learned so many things, and that will allow you to do that. And so what I usually say is, if you want to unlock success in your business, you first have to unlock success in yourself.
Yeah.
And I didn't learn that in the first couple of years, but I've learned that now,
Yeah.
and I've seen the way it's propelled the business
You
forward.
just have to be ready for anything, and you have
That's
to
right.
learn other things to help you stay ready when the
time comes.
Okay,
That's
that's
right.
good. All right. So my last question to you is, when you think of Oze, what's the first word that comes to your mind? Like Oze, what comes to your mind?
Growth.
Okay.
The word oser actually
Okay.
comes from the French word oser, which means to dare.
All
right?
right.
And we chose that name because entrepreneurs are the most daring people you're ever going to meet, right? You have a dream, you go after it,
Yeah.
and you provide for your family while you're doing it,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So if you're daring and you're willing to grow, right, oser is the tool for you.
All right. Thank you, David, so much for sharing your insights with us today. We'll be taking a brief break, and when we return, we will dive into our Opportunity Spotlight segment. Stay tuned.
Looking for a side income to support your hustle? Then continue watching. Tendo helps anyone start an online retail business with no capital. Here's how. Download the Tendo app, find products you want to resell, add your profits, and market. You can market by sharing images of the product with your WhatsApp group, Facebook Marketplace, and other marketplaces. When you get a customer, place the order on the app with customer details. Tendo will deliver and send your profit. All you need is your phone and the Tendo app. Download the Tendo app and begin your side hustle journey with us.
Opportunity Spotlight. Welcome back to Opportunity Spotlight on Business Tech Guide, where we highlight potential game-changing opportunities. NBA Africa invites early-stage African startups to apply for Triple Double, a startup accelerator offering cash prizes and support. If your startup focuses on event management, ticketing, youth development, AI, or digital marketing in the sports and creative industries, this is your chance. Apply now on tripledoubleaccelerator.nba.com. That's all we have today for our Opportunity Spotlight. We're going for a short commercial break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Business Tool of the Week. Welcome back to Business Tech Guide on DGN. This is the last segment, Business Tool of the Week, where we introduce you to the latest technology making waves in the business world. Today, we're diving into the world of Slack. Slack is a powerful platform for business communication, offering organized channels and direct messaging to enhance collaboration. Its real-time sharing capabilities facilitate quick decision-making and idea exchange for ideal both in-office and remote teams. Through integration with third-party apps like Google Drive, Slack consolidates tools and workflows, reducing the need for app switching. This consolidation enhances productivity by keeping everything in one place, minimizing distractions and interruptions. Additionally, Slack's search functionality efficiently retrieves vital information, further optimizing workflow management. Overall, Slack fosters a more efficient and connected work environment before enhancing productivity in companies. Get on Slack and experience seamless collaboration from anywhere. We hope you found this information insightful. Don't forget to join us next time for more news, interviews, and tools to keep you ahead in the ever-evolving world of business and technology. Until then, I'm Nadia Chantel, your host for Business Tech Guide. This show is sponsored by Tendo Technologies. Introducing Business Tech Guide, where business and tech meets endless possibilities. Join us whilst we explore the latest updates in the world of business and technology. Do not miss out.